It. So we're going to start by getting centered. So please sit comfortably. And you can sit cross-legged if you'd like to. You can extend one or both legs. Do whatever you need to be comfortable. I'm also sitting on a couple of folded blankets. You could sit on a couple of those as well, or a cushion. Just make yourself comfortable for a couple minutes. Then feel your shoulders relax down your back. Feel the crown of the head lift toward the ceiling. And if it's comfortable for you, let your eyes close. And bring your awareness to your breath here. The flow of air into the body as you inhale, the flow of the air out of the body as you exhale. And right now, that might be a deep breath. That might feel like a more shallow breath. You don't have to force it. Just notice what is, what's there. And as you're aware of the breath, as you're settling in here, you might start to notice things. Maybe it's the body is calling to you, that there's some tension or discomfort. Maybe you feel like your mind is running, that there's a to-do list that's still ruminating in your mind, or some other preoccupation. And when all that distraction happens, when the body calls to you and the mind starts to move around a bunch, I want you just to bring your awareness back to your breath. Air flowing into the body, the air flowing out of the body. And we'll just spend a few more moments in that practice, aware of this breath, letting it draw us to the present moment, this inhale, this exhale, not worried or concerned about the past or future. Good. All right. And then from this a bit more centered place, go ahead and take a deeper, fuller breath and bring your palms together in front of you, bow the chin, and just honor yourself as you are in this moment, this body, the skill level, this energetic state, the state of mind that you're in, right where we're jumping off from today. Letting this practice be in service of all of that. So rubbing the palms together, creating heat. And take those warm palms over the eyes, brushing over the top of the head and down your neck, bringing yourself back to your space. Welcome back. And we'll begin on our backs tonight. So if you are sitting on a cushion or a blanket, go ahead and just move that off to the side and come to lay down. Take your time getting there. That might take a moment. Once you do get to your back, and continue to go at your own pace, just hug your knees into your chest for a moment. And it might be comfortable, actually, as you come onto your back here, just to gently rock from side to side on the spine, massaging those muscles around the spine into the floor, and taking just a few breaths as you do that. Good. All right. So bring the hips and knees to stillness. Go ahead and bring the feet flat to the floor and have your heels underneath your knees, about hip distance apart. Heel stacking under the knees, about hip width apart. Your arms can start down by your sides, and we'll begin some movement. With your next inhale, please lift your arms toward the ceiling and then up overhead, knuckles on the floor above you. And then exhale, release your arms back down, reaching up toward the ceiling and then back down to your sides. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift the arms toward the sky and then overhead. And then exhale, back up to the sky and down by your sides. Again, inhale, reach up and over. And exhale, reaching up and down. We're going to keep moving the arms like this. Let's add the hips this time. Inhale, lift the arms overhead. Also pick up your hips and reach the pelvis toward the ceiling, pressing into the feet. Exhale, release the arms and hips down at the same time. Again, inhale, arms and hips lifting up, knuckles touching the floor above you. Exhale, release the arms and hips down. Let's keep going, starting to warm up the hips, the spine, the shoulders. And as you're lifting and lowering, try to keep the feet flat on the floor the whole time. Inhale, lifting, exhale, lowering. This is a great exercise to do if you find yourself sitting a lot. It's really the counter pose to sitting. It's kind of back bending that we're doing here. It's also helping to stabilize the lower back. So with that in mind, let's do about 3 more rounds, okay? Inhale, lifting, exhale, lowering. Good. Now take your time getting there, but as you lift into the pose this time, let's stay. Arms all the way overhead, knuckles on the floor, and then pressing the pelvis toward the ceiling. And as you stay in the pose, yes, we're feeling a bit of a back bend in the lower back, but you really want to start to feel a back bend in your upper back. So feel your chest bow more toward your chin, deepening the back bend in that upper back area. Relax your throat and jaw. Keep the pelvis lifting. Keep the feet flat on the floor. Stay for 2 more breaths. Good. Deep breath in. And then exhale, slowly lower the arms and hips back down to the floor. Take a moment in center, just feel sensation. And then we will build on that sensation. So hug your knees back into your chest again, give them a nice squeeze. And then keep the knees drawn in. Please take your arms out to the side, making a T shape with the body. If there's something nearby that's blocking you from doing that, you could also do cactus arms, just bending the elbows here. Good. With the arms out to the side, lock the knees together, lock the ankles together, and they might shift around a little bit, but try to keep them connected as much as possible in this next exercise. So taking a deep breath in with your exhale, let your knees fall to your right side. Then inhale, bring the knees back to center. And then exhale, let the knees fall to your left side. Inhale back to center. And then just keep going. Exhale to the right. Inhale back. Exhale to the left. Inhale back. Keep going. And as you're twisting from side to side here, try to keep both shoulders grounded the entire time. And they might pop up a little bit, but just think about the shoulder as an anchor, anchoring you back so that you actually twist a little bit further. This is also helping to warm up the lower back and the core, the front abdomen, and the side abdomen as well. Now, for the last few times from side to side, if you'd like to, you can turn the chin the opposite direction of the knees. The knees go to the right, the chin goes to the left. Inhale to center. Then exhale, knees to the left, chin to the right, and so on. Just starting to loosen up the neck a bit here. Side to side, one more time on each side. And the next time your knees come back to center from the left, hug them in. Take a deep breath in and out. Feel sensation. Good. And then continuing our warm up, keep holding on to the right shin or knee and extend the left leg down to the floor, extending that left leg all the way down. Flex both feet, pulling the toes back. This will activate the left leg. And you'll also likely feel a stretch in the hips here, just a gentle one, or assuming gentle. Maybe it's not so gentle for you. Good. And then go ahead and switch knees. Take your right leg all the way down. Bring your left knee into your chest. Again, flexing both feet, pulling the toes back. Both legs are activated here and feel the gentle stretch in the hip. Breathe. Good. All right. Let's switch legs again. Extend the left leg down. Bring that right knee back into your chest. And we're going to do a little bit more to warm up this right leg. So both feet are activated, both legs are activated. And then hold behind your right thigh with both hands. Hold behind the right thigh. With your next inhale, extend the right leg toward the ceiling, pulling the toes back, feeling length in the back of that leg. And then exhale, bring the knee back into your chest as you bend it. Then inhale, extend the leg toward the ceiling, reaching through the heel, and exhale, knee to chest as you bend it. Again, inhale, extend. Feel the back of the leg lengthening, that right hamstring. Exhale, knee to chest. Let's do a few more. Good. Last one. Extend the leg toward the ceiling. And then exhale, bring the knee back into your chest and switch legs. Extend the right leg down to the floor. Bring the left knee in, holding behind that left thigh. Both legs are activated. And when you're ready, we'll do the same exercise, but on this side. So with your inhale, extend the left leg toward the ceiling, reach through the heel, and exhale, bend the knee, bring it back into your chest. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Feeling length in the back of that left leg as you inhale, reaching through the heel, pulling the toes back, and exhale back in. Keep going. And as we do the second side, you might notice a difference in sensation from the first side. Maybe this leg is tighter. Maybe it's more open. Doesn't mean it's a good or a bad thing. It's just what it is. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. We'll do a couple more times. Just starting to loosen up the back of that left leg. All right, inhale, extend the left leg toward the ceiling. Exhale, bend it in, and then go ahead and relax the left leg down to the floor. Take a moment here, just feel what's going on in the body. Maybe it's in the legs, maybe it's in the hips or somewhere else. And then we will do a bit more work here. So staying on our backs, go ahead and hug your knees into your chest, just as a transition, because I want you to now bring the soles of the feet together. The knees go wide and reach down and grab hold of the shins, the ankles, or those of you with long arms, you might be able to hold on to the pinky edge of the foot or feet. Okay. Now, once you have that hold of the ankles, the shins, or the feet, draw your feet in toward your body and toward the pelvis. Allow the knees to go wide. And we're just getting started here, especially with the hips. So don't force this posture. Take it to the point where you feel the stretch and breathe at that point. Good. Staying for a couple more breaths here. And then we'll transition into another hip stretch. And this will be asymmetrical. So we'll do it twice, once on each side. So from where you're at right now, hold on to just your right leg. And so that might be both hands holding onto the right foot. It might be both hands holding onto the right shin or ankle. Just with both hands, hold onto that right side. And you have two options. You can bring the left foot flat to the floor with the knee bent, or if you have the flexibility, you can extend the left leg all the way down to the floor. Okay, now flex this right foot, pull the toes back. This will help to protect the ankle and the knee joints, which are pretty important here. And then think about drawing this right foot in toward your belly. Okay, and that's a directional movement, not a goal. Again, that left leg can either be extended to the floor, or if that's too much for you, and that's okay too. You could bring that left foot flat to the floor with a knee bent. The hips don't like to be rushed, so be patient here as you breathe. Try not to clench your teeth. Try to relax your eyes. Soften your belly. Stay for just a couple more breaths. Good. All right. So when you're ready, go ahead and bring both knees back into your chest. Release that hold. And as you're holding the knees into the chest, just notice the difference between the two hips. And then we'll use that butterfly pose to help us transition into the other side. So bring the soles of the feet together again. Hold on to the ankles, shins, or feet. And we won't stay here long this time. So when you're ready, since the left leg is where it needs to be now, you can hold on to the left foot, left ankle, or left shin with both hands, and either take the right foot flat to the floor, knee bent, or extend the right leg all the way down. Do what you feel like is going to support you in this moment. Now, once that right leg is figured out, draw the left foot in towards your belly. And again, it's a directional movement. And also flex the left foot, pull the toes back, protecting the ankle and knee. Try to relax that left hip a bit more. It likes to clench, so think about unclenching that left hip. Staying for just a few more breaths. Again, the hips don't like to be rushed, so we take our time with them. Relax your face. One more breath. And then as you release, bring both knees back into your chest again. Feel sensation. And just like at the beginning of class, it might feel good to rock gently from side to side for a moment, massaging the hips, low back and mid back into the ground. And when you are ready, go ahead and roll to your right side. And we will transition up to hands and knees. Table pose. Take your time with that transition. So bringing the hands underneath your shoulders, knees beneath the hips or slightly further back. Inhale, look forward. Feel the tailbone lift up behind you. With your exhale, go ahead and sink all the way back into child's pose, taking the seat of the heels, forehead to the floor. And then inhale, come back up to hands and knees. Again, exhale, go all the way back to child's pose. Inhale back up to hands and knees one more time. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale up to hands and knees. This time, curl the toes under and lift the hips into the air, downward facing dog. Good. So in down dog, you're going to go ahead and start to walk it out a bit. So press one heel to the floor and bend the opposite knee, feeling length in one leg and then length in the other leg. And just keep going. And I recommend going pretty slowly here. Walking the dog out. It's good to mention here that as you're working on these legs, that you want to keep the spine lengthening. And a way to do that is to think about lifting your hips toward the sky behind you. Good. One more breath here. And then with your next inhale, gently float back down onto hands and knees. And this time, bend the elbows in toward your waist and bring your chest down to the floor. Release your hips back, coming on to your belly. Now the hands are underneath the shoulders here, elbows bent. Think about squeezing your elbows into your body, and we'll play around with both cobra pose and locust pose. So with your next inhale, roll your shoulders down your back, lift your head and chest, keep your legs on the floor, keep the elbows bending. As you exhale, release back down. This time we'll add the legs. Rolling the shoulders down the back, lift the head, chest, and lift the legs off the floor. Your pelvis is your base. As you exhale, release back down. Elbows stay bent the entire time. Leaving the legs on the floor, lift the head and chest, cobra. Exhale, release down. Rounding your pelvis, lift the head, chest, and the legs this time, locust pose. Exhale, release. Let's do this a few more times, okay? So leaving the legs on the floor, lift the head and chest, cobra. Exhale, release. Lifting the legs this time, locust pose. Head, chest, and legs. Exhale, release. Again, cobra. Leave the legs on the ground. Lift the head and chest. Exhale down. Locust pose with the legs, inhale. And exhale down. One more time for each posture, okay? Squeezing those elbows in. Roll the shoulders down the back. Lift the head and chest. Exhale down. With the legs, last time. Locust pose, head, chest, and legs lift. And exhale, carefully release down. Turn the head to a side, take an adjusting breath here. Good, all right. So when you're ready, bring your head back to center, curl the toes under, do your best to push up to hands and knees, and then lift the hips into the air, coming back into downward facing dog. You may need to walk the feet forward a few inches. Good. Taking a few breaths here, feeling that length in the spine again. So lifting the hips toward the sky behind you. It's okay for the knees to be bent here. Good. Now from downward facing dog, go ahead and walk your hands back to meet your feet, coming into the standing forward fold. Now the knees are slightly bent. Just drape the upper body down over the legs. Release the head, neck, and shoulders, the arms. You can just imagine that any tension you have in your shoulders or neck is just melting off onto the floor. This pose is sometimes called waterfall pose. You can imagine that just all of it's just pouring off onto the mat. Let go. Good. And then bending your knees a little bit more. Go ahead and roll yourself all the way up to standing, single vertebrae at a time, stacking the spine. The chin is the last to lift. Good morning. All right, we made it all the way up to standing. Let's do some more work. Okay. So, kind of torn up what we'll do next. think we're going to work out the shoulders just a little bit here. And actually, I'd like us to do it in a wide leg stance. So take your feet nice and wide apart and have your toes pointing directly forward. So not out to the side, but directly forward. If anything, you're pigeon toeing a little bit here, okay? And that'll come in handy here in a little bit. All right, so with your legs nice and wide, nice stable stance, go ahead and lift your left arm into the air. Reach up. Feeling some length on the left side. And then you're going to bend the left elbow, bring the left hand behind your head. Now with your right hand, you're going to reach up and grab the forearm or the elbow and traction that elbow more toward the center line of your body, okay? Now there's that free hand behind you, your left hand. Just bend the elbow a bit more and bring that hand closer to your spine. I know the shoulder says a lot here, so let's just breathe with that, okay? Now you're welcome just to stay right here. If you feel like you want to get a bit more out of this left shoulder, you could just lean gently to the right. If that's too much for you, come back, okay? Or only go a little bit. Good, and then come back up. If you're leaning, don't drop the arm, carefully release it, letting it unfurl to the space next to you, and just feel that release in the shoulder girdle, in the arm and hand. It might feel like warmth, it might feel like relief, it might feel like your left shoulder is dropping down further than your right, which actually might be happening. My joke is whether you like that or not, it's probably important to do the other side. So let's do that, okay? Lift your right arm up. And again, we're reaching up, feeling length on that right side as much as possible. So reach, reach, reach. It's kind of like a superhero pose, right? And then once you have that length, bend the right elbow, bring the hand behind your head. Then you can take your left hand, reach up and grab the forearm or the elbow and just draw it toward the center line of the body. Keep that length on the right side with the right hand behind you, the one that's free. Bend the elbow a bit more, bring that hand toward the spine, lift the heart. If you're right-handed, this probably feels a bit more difficult than the first side. If you're left-handed, the worst is over. Good. Now you can stay here if you want to. If you feel like you have a bit more length on that right side, you can lean to the left slightly. Breathe. Try not to clench your teeth here. And try to sit with the discomfort a bit too. I know this is not the best pose to be in. But if we can stay for just a couple more breaths, we can get a bigger release in that shoulder. Good. And then coming back up if you're leaning, and don't drop the arm. Slowly let it unfurl. Good. And feel sensation on that side in the shoulder girdle, into the arm and hand. Let that circulation get back to it. Mine's still tingling. Good. And we're going to stay in this wide leg stance for the next exercise. So let your arms hang down by your sides. With your next inhale, sweep the arms up and over, reach up. With your exhale, hinge at your hips, swan dive, fold down over wide legs. Good. Inhale, reverse it. Sweep the arms out to the side with a strong back, lift all the way up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, come all the way up. Nice strong back here. Exhale all the way down. Go slowly, like you're moving through water. Back up. And back down. We're gonna do a couple more. Just keep going, okay? Inhale, lifting, exhale, lowering, moving slowly like you're moving through water, strengthening the lower back, and also lengthening the backs of the legs again. Good. Exhale, fold. Then inhale, come all the way up. Stay standing and just release the arms down. Exhale. Good. All right. So we're gonna do one more thing for the shoulders and then we'll move along, I promise. And you can choose to do this in a wide leg stance, or you can bring the feet together if you'd like to. I'm just gonna relax the shoulders down, and then I'm gonna start to roll them back, shrug them up, bring them forward, and drop them down. So take the shoulders back, up, forward, down, back, up, forward, down, back, up, forward, down, back, up, forward, down. Keep going, just rolling the shoulders in this direction. Breathing as you do so, especially if you're feeling some tightness. Just a few more times. Good. And as the shoulders drop down to neutral, we'll now go in the opposite direction. So now shrug the shoulders forward, bring them up toward the ears, take them back, and then set them down. Forward, up, back, down, forward, up, back, down. Breathe, rolling these shoulders around. We store so much tension here, so much tension. You actually might feel some of that right now, especially if you feel like pinpoints of tension or like really concentrated points. If you ever get a massage and you feel knots, that's what that is. It's a knot. But if we keep rowing, if we keep rolling around, we start to move that tension out, okay? So just a few more times, knowing that if you need more from this exercise, that it's always here for you. You could do this one seated if you'd like to. Sometimes we actually do it seated in chair yoga on Fridays. Good. Relaxing the shoulders down. Feel sensation for a moment. It might feel like warmth. It might feel like energy or circulation, or it just might feel like tension. We'll do more to work that out, I promise. So when you're ready, go ahead and step to the top of your mat, whichever direction that is for you. We're going to prepare for a sun salutation and have the feet about hip width apart. Bring your palms together in front of you. Relax the shoulders down, but we just did that, so they're nice and relaxed. Find your breath, aware of the inhale, aware of the exhale. And we'll begin to move through a lunge series. So with your next inhale, sweep your arms down, back, and up, reaching overhead. With your exhale, hinge at the hips and swan dive down over the legs. Good. Press palms to shins. Lift your chest up halfway, looking at the ground. Exhale, fold down, and step your right foot way back. Take the back foot flat to the back knee to the floor. Bend the front knee. Inhale, sweep the arms forward, up and back, letting your heart shine toward the ceiling. And then exhale, bring the hands down. Curling the back toes under. Go ahead and step the left foot back to downward facing dog. Inhale, float gently down onto hands and knees. Exhale, bend the elbows in toward your waist, chest press coming on down, and release the hips. Hands are underneath the shoulders. Ground your pelvis with your next inhale. Lift the head, chest, and legs, locust pose. Exhale, release down. Please curl the toes under. Press up to hands and knees, and come back into downward facing dog. Stay for a breath. Good. Then in downward facing dog, lift your right leg high into the air behind you. And with your exhale, you're going to swing or carry step that right foot all the way between your hands. Now, if it doesn't make it all the way up, you're going to reach down and grab hold of that ankle and help it forward. Okay. Back knee comes to the floor. With your next inhale, sweep the arms forward, up and back, crescent lunge. And then exhale, bring the hands down and step that back foot forward, coming back into the forward fold. Press palms to shins again. Bring the chest parallel to the floor, looking down. And then exhale, fold down. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side with a strong back lift all the way up. And bring the palms back to your heart. Take an adjusting breath. And we will continue this flow. So with your next inhale, sweep the arms down, back, and up, reaching overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward and down. Palms to shins, chest parallel to the floor. Inhale. Exhale, fold down and step your left foot way back. Take the back knee to the floor, bend the front knee. Inhale, reach forward, up and back. And then exhale, hands to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. Good. Again, float down onto hands and knees. Exhale, bend the elbows, bring the heart down to the floor. Hands under the shoulders, pelvis grounding, lift the head, chest, and legs. Locust, inhale. Exhale, release. Curl the toes under, press up to hands and knees, and back into downward facing dog. Stay for a breath. All right, lift the left leg high, inhale. Exhale, swing or carry, step that left foot forward. Again, help it through if it doesn't make it. And then bring the back knee to the floor, bending the front knee, sweep the arms forward, up and back, crescent lunge. Exhale, bring the hands down to the floor and step forward. Standing forward fold. Pressing palms to shins, come halfway up here. Exhale, fold down. Sweep the arms up to the side with a strong back lift all the way up. Inhale. And then bring the palms back to your heart. We're just going to keep it moving this time, all right? Inhale, sweep the arms down, back, and up. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Palms to shins halfway up. And then exhale, fold. This time, step your right foot back. Take the back knee to the floor. Inhale, crescent lunge, reaching the arms up and back. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Carefully step back to downward facing dog. Good. Floating down onto hands and knees. Exhale, chest press. Bring the heart down to the floor. Release the hips. Coming into locust, ground the pelvis. Lift the head, chest, and legs. Inhale. Exhale, release down. Curl the toes under. Push up. Downward facing dog. In down dog, lift the right leg up. Exhale, step that right foot through. Help it forward. When you're ready, take the back knee to the floor. Inhale, crescent lunge. Good. Exhale, hands down and step forward. Standing forward fold again. Palms to shins, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Sweep the arms out to the side, come all the way up. And palms to the heart. Keeping this energy moving. Inhale, sweep up again. Swan dive again. Palms to shins again. Exhale, fold, step the left foot back. Left knee to the ground. Inhale, crescent lunge, reaching up and back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, float down onto hands and knees. Exhale, do a chest press. Coming down onto your belly, ground the pelvis, lift the head, chest, and legs, locust pose. Exhale, float back down, curl the toes under, push up and back, downward facing dog. In down dog, lift the left leg high and step it through, help it forward. When you're ready, back knee comes to the ground. Sweep on up, crescent lunge again. Good, and then hands down, step forward, standing forward, fold. Palms to shins. Exhale, release. Sweep the arms out to the side, come all the way up. And palms to the heart. We're gonna do 2 more rounds, all right? Inhale, sweep up. And fold. Palms to shins, halfway. Exhale, release, right foot steps. Knee to the ground, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. Good, floating down onto the knees. Bring the heart down to the floor. Good. Locust pose. Head, chest, and legs lift. Exhale, release. Curl the toes under, push up. And back, downward dog. In down dog, lift the right leg high and step it on through. Help it forward. Back knee to the ground. Crescent lunge. Good. Exhale, hands down and step forward. Palms to shins. And down. Sweep the arms out to the sides. Come all the way up. And palms to the heart. Last one. We're almost there. Inhale, sweep the arms down, back and up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Palms to shins. And down. Step the left foot back this time. Back knee to the floor. Crescent lunge. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hands and knees, inhale. Chest press, exhale. Locust pose, inhale. Head, chest, and legs lift. Exhale, float down. Go ahead and push up and back into downward facing dog. Last lunge. Lift the left leg up, inhale. Exhale, step it on through. Help it forward. When you're ready, back knee comes down. Crescent lunge, inhale. And then exhale, hands down. Go ahead and step the right foot forward. Palms to shins. Exhale down. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the sides. Come all the way up. And palms to the heart. Good. Feel sensation for a moment. You move through 6 flows. How's that feel in your body? Maybe there were parts that were challenging. Maybe there were parts that were enjoyable. Maybe they were both at the same time or neither at the same time. What's your breath rate? What's your heart rate? Right. So bringing your awareness back to the space around you. Feel free to hydrate if you haven't done so in a minute. And then I'm going to invite you back into a wide leg stance, okay? Now, last time I asked you to have the toes pointing directly forward. This time, I'd like the toes to point out to the sides about 45 degrees, okay? And this lets us bend the knees a little bit easier, which is exactly what we're going to do. So for now, have your hands just resting on your hips and think about squeezing the elbows together behind you. This actually helps to keep your heart lifting and the spine in alignment for this next exercise, okay? So take a deep breath in. With your exhale, bend your knees out toward their own toes, sinking down into a squat, and then come back up. Now, if your feet are too wide apart here, if that didn't really feel accessible, it's okay to bring them a little closer together, or you could do the opposite if you need to, all right? With your exhale, bend the knees, sink down in. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, sink down in. Inhale, come back up. Let's keep going, sinking into the hips and back up, sinking in and up. A couple more times. Good. Now, before we come back into the pose to hold, we're going to bring the arms into a specific position. So extend the arms out to the sides and then bend the elbows, fingertips pointing toward the ceiling. Good. Now squeeze the shoulder blades together. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, sink back down into the pose. This is called goddess pose. So the heart stays lifting. It's nice and strong. The hips stay sinking. Again, nice and strong. Now you can just hang out here if you'd like to. If you want to try something else, you can think about your right heel all the way down there. Think about picking up that right heel, toes stay on the ground, or the ball of the foot stays on the ground. You might feel that engagement come all the way up through the leg, all the way into the groin and pelvis. You can put that down. What's the other side feel like? You try to lift your left heel. If it just destabilizes you, don't worry about it. Keep the feet on the ground. Then putting that down. Now, if you want to, and it's easier than it looks, but it doesn't mean it's easy, you can try to lift both heels at the same time and breathe. Good. Can you stay for 2 more breaths, maybe? Good. If the heels are lifting, bring them down. And then we'll all straighten the arms and the legs, reaching up, and then release the arms down. Feel sensation. So I love that pose because it's grounding. We're like sinking toward the earth, but it's also uplifting. The heart is lifting at the same time. It's a really nice balancing posture. Now, what I'd like you to do is bring the feet back into the parallel position, toes pointing directly forward, or even pigeon toeing slightly, because we're going to come back into the wide leg forward fold. So go ahead and hinge at the hips, drape yourself down over the legs, and your hands can be on the ground. You could hold on to your ankles or shins. You can just hang out here, release the head, and you could just hang here if you'd like to. If you feel like you have a bit more flexibility or access in the backs of the legs or the lower back, you can hold on to the shins or ankles and just bend the elbows slightly, just tugging the heart a bit more toward the space between your legs. And again, that's a directional movement, so be gentle with yourself. And it's good to mention as we are in this forward fold that while the legs are straight, the knees are not locked. Allow there just to be a little bit of give to the knees. Just a little bit of bend. Good, all right. So when you're ready, go ahead and release. You can roll yourself up or you could sweep the arms out to the side and lift yourself back up. Do what feels good for you. All right. So from here, we're going to transition into downward facing dog. So the way that I like to do it is I fold forward and then step a leg back. But however you need to get there, let's come into downward facing dog, okay? Good. And that after a breath or two in down dog, and you're welcome to stay a little bit longer too if you'd like. But after those few breaths, we're going to come down into child's pose. Seat to the heels, forehead toward the floor. Good. And then go ahead and roll yourself up to a seat and bring your legs out in front of you, please. Now you have an option here to sit on a folded blanket. Sometimes adding an inch or two to the spine here makes or breaks the posture. Just makes it a little easier, a little more accessible. So with the legs pointing directly forward, go ahead and bend your right knee and bring the foot to the inside of the left thigh. Okay. Now, when we do this, the flesh of the seat starts to tuck under a little bit. So you actually have to reach back and widen the flesh of the seat back so that you're sitting up tall. Okay. And it does help, and it's yours. You can reach for it if you want to. Good. So the left leg is extending straight forward. Feel the spine lifting, the heart lifting, and then reach the arms straight up. Now I want you to think about the back staying flat here, and the hips are a hinge. So with your exhale, you're just going to bend that hinge a bit, fold at the hips, and start to bring the heart forward closer to the thigh. And how far you go is up to your body. Then inhale, come back up. Now, one thing I did forget to mention is this left foot is flexed, so pull the toes back. Let's do that again. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Bring the heart down, go to the point where you feel a stretch, and then back up a little bit. Exhale, fold. Inhale back up. We're going to do two more. And on the last one, we're going to hold for a bit, okay? Exhale, going to that point of stretch. Inhale back up. And then this time, go to that point of stretch. Release the hands down to the floor or to the leg. Don't worry about touching the foot. We're not trying to stretch the shoulders here. Pull the toes back. And breathe. Feeling length in the back of this left leg. You might feel length in the left side of your lower back. Good. All right. When you're ready, go ahead and bring yourself back up to a nice tall spine. Great job. So before we do the other side, since we're kind of in the right position for this next pose, we're just going to do the next pose and then we'll do the other side, I promise. So right knee is bent, just bring the foot flat to the floor. Okay, so the knee is in toward the chest. And then you're going to hold on to that right knee with your left hand. Your right hand is going to go right behind you. So sit up tall, take a deep breath in. With your exhale, pull that knee more toward the midline a little bit. Bring your left chest toward the knee and roll your right shoulder back, looking behind you, coming into a twist. Now, depending on your flexibility in the shoulders, you might be able to wrap the arm all the way around the knee to twist, twist, twist. We're going to stay for just a few breaths here. Good. All right. Inhale, carefully unwind. And then we'll prep to do the other side. So extend your right foot down, right leg down, I should say. And then bend your left knee. Bring the sole of the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Again, you might have to widen the flesh of the seat back a little bit so that you're sitting up nice and tall. And as we sit up nice and tall, the chest lifting, go ahead and reach the arms toward the sky. Think about the back staying flat and the hips are a hinge. With your exhale, hinge at the hips. Bring the chest down toward the knee until you reach that point of stretching. And then inhale, come back up. Flex the right foot. Exhale, hinging down. Inhale back up. Exhale, hinging down to that point of stretch, which might be different than the first side. Inhale back up. Good. So as you fold this time, go to the point where you feel the stretch, then release your hands to the floor or to the leg. Again, we're not reaching for the foot here. Even if you can grab it, don't worry about it. Keep the right foot flexed and breathe. Staying for just another breath or two. This big length in the back of the right leg. When you're ready, carefully come back up to a tall spine. Good. Let's do the twist on this side. So bring that left foot flat to the floor here, holding on to the right knee with, sorry, the left knee with the right hand. Bring the left hand behind your back and begin to work yourself into a twist. So take a deep breath in and exhale, roll the left shoulder back. Bring the right chest toward the left knee and looking behind you. If you have the access in the shoulders, you might be able to wrap that right arm around the left thigh or knee. Good. Last breath here. And then inhale, carefully unwind. Good. So final posture before our resting posture. I'm going to ask you to bring the soles of the feet together in butterfly once again. And I'll turn to face you, but you can stay where you're at. Soles of the feet together. You can hold on to the shins, the ankles, or again, the pinky edge of the feet might be an option for some of us. But sit up tall, let the knees fall out wide. It's okay if they're squeezing up a little bit here. You know, we're all in our own phases of practice. But you want to try to keep the spine lifting. Now I want you to think about the hips and the spine as a hinge again, okay? So we're going to keep the spine relatively flat or right where it's at right now. And then just think about hinging at the hips. The heart is coming forward and then stop at the point where you feel a stretch. Don't round the back excessively and do a nosedive, but keep the spine flat. It's also tempting here if you are folding for the chin to jut forward. There's nothing going on up here. Bring that chin back down, okay? And breathe. All right, when you're ready, please bring yourself back up to a nice tall spine. And then keep your awareness rather inward as you come to lay down on your mat to rest for a few minutes, okay? If you do have that blanket, if you were using it, you can use it as a pillow now. And if it happens to be cold where you're at, you can also use that blanket as a blanket. It does that too. So coming to rest on your back. And as you do so, allow the heels to be mat width apart. Nice, rather wider stance. So the toes can flop out to the side. This allows your hips to relax. We've worked the hips a little bit today. So just, let's give them some love. Let them relax a bit. And then your arms relax down by your sides. The wrists about a foot away from your hips. Palms face up. And this allows your shoulders to relax. They've done some work too. So let them relax. Soften your jaw. Relax your eyes. And remind yourself that these next few minutes, you don't have to do anything. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Only just to be. Just be. The hard work is over. Just be. peace, peace, peace. Well, I wish I could keep you here resting longer. The time has come to carry on. So when you're ready, take a deeper, fuller breath and gently move the body, the hands and feet, the arms and legs, knowing that if you still need to rest, you can always come back. For now, roll to your right side and transition up to a seat. And once you've made it to a seat, bring your palms together at your heart and bow your chin. And to honor yourself for all the work you've done here tonight, feeling that gratitude to yourself, from yourself, for yourself, for all of that hard work. And may that effort and this practice continue to serve you. So until next time, namaste.